Well, crap. We got stopped out right at break even today, and I'll show you guys and girls my entry real quick. Let me take a screenshot of it. You can hear Tito itching himself in the background too. Um, yeah, I don't need to copy that. We can see it right here. You guys can see we literally got stopped out right at our freaking entry. First TP hit, I moved my stop loss to break even. I really should have moved it a little bit. And again, I'll explain it when we go over this trade recap. But above this candle's high probably, because again, our first take profit hit, and I really wanted to let it run all the way down to London session lows. Um, but regardless, shit like this does happen. What I am proud of myself with today, though, is I did let the trade run. We let our first take profit hit, and I wanted to target that overall 1 to 2 risk to reward. Because again, I went over my data a couple days ago and during this weekend, and I put a whole new rule system in play. I'm letting my trades do their thing. I'm letting them run to 1 to 2 risk to reward. I'm sticking to my risk management, and we're locking in on what we need to do. Because again, this past 6 months, and especially this beginning of the year, has taught me a lot in my trading journey. So what I want to do is I want to go over this trade that we ended up taking today. I took this trade on ES. But as we can see, coming into market open, and I'm going to post a live session first before this trade recap. But coming into market open, we could see that we came up, we manipulated higher. We were in this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, as you can see that we ended up respecting. Could zoom in a little bit more on it. We ended up respecting it, but as we could see, we had hourly equal highs above. Okay, we had equal highs right here. I didn't mark those out. I didn't see them at first, but ES wanted to come up and sweep those. Correct. So ES come up, swept out these hourly equal highs. That's these hourly highs up here on NASDAQ, as you guys can see right here. And doing that, NASDAQ came up, swept out London session highs. We ended up forming an S&T off of that, coming down, inversing this 5-minute bullish for a value gap, correct? I was already scaled down to the 1-minute time frame, and I wanted to see a retracement, but by then we already inversed that 5-minute bearish for a value gap. So what I wanted to see is a retracement. Again, we'll start this. We'll go back and back test. We could see that we ended up coming down the 1-minute time frame. ES still had some room to come down to London session lows. NASDAQ took him out, but we scaled down to the 1-minute time frame here on NASDAQ also, and we can mark out this 1-minute high that we had above, right? I marked that out. We could see that NASDAQ came up, and we ended up forming a 1-minute S&T. We could see over here on ES, we ended up forming an S&T to the downside. That's why I took this trade on ES, because it was the leading index to the downside. So NASDAQ formed a high and a higher high off that 1-minute high, and ES formed a high and a lower high. I got my entry a little bit later. I think it was the second candle right here. So ended up getting my entry around 902 off my broker statement. Stop was above this high, risking around $200 to make around $400, correct? What I could have done better is, as we can see, we let the trade play out. It almost hits our stop loss. It comes back down. That's why I decided to move my stop loss right above these candles' bodies. Excuse me. I liked how the trade was playing out, especially after we inverse this 1-minute bearish fair value gap. Bullish fair value gap, as you can see right here, right? We ended up inversing that, so that made me more comfortable in this trade. I had my first take profit right here at these 5-minute lows. I took off one micro. I entered in 4. So again, we would have made around $400 per account on this trade. So you can see price ended up coming down. What does it end up doing? It ends up taking out our first take profit. I put my stop loss to break even, like a little bit below break even, and we literally get tapped. Sorry for the helicopter in the back. Tapped, stopped out at break even, making $50 per account, and then as you can see, she freaking ripped down and took out our full take profit for a 2.3 risk reward. So what could I have done better? I think this is an overall good trade, but I managed this trade a little bit tightly because it is a no news Monday, and I didn't know if we were going to get caught in chop. I was confident in this trade when we took it, but what I could have done better was probably put my stop loss above one of these candles highs. Again, I guess you could consider me doing it here also, but it's just part of trading. I'm not going to let it aggravate me or get me upset because, again, regardless, we still made money. We still made $200 in the day. $260 in a day. Yeah, that's all I could really say. It sucks, but again, this is part of trading, and these are the times that are going to make you kind of crash out and do the wrong thing. So I already ended the trading day. I ended it with the Discord. I wanted to get this trade recap recorded so I don't have to do it later. But regardless, we predicted the overall trade, and there's nothing more that can be said or done on it. This was the overall trade right here. maybe what I could have done better is taking my break even once we got to this 15-minute low, because if we would have done that, we would have stayed in the trade and we would have been fine. But regardless, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's over with now. We're going to stick to our rules. I stuck to my rules. I stuck to my one trade rule. I have them over here in the corner. $200, $250 risk. We risked $200 on this trade. Target on 1 to 2. I let it run. I put my price to break even. Old me would have taken all my profits here where I did. But again, yeah. I should have just let the whole trade run and do its thing. Maybe put my stop loss over here. Just keep reducing risk. But I put it at break even once my first take profit hit, and we let it do its thing, and we ended up getting stopped out at break even. But I do think we're overall going to come down to these 4-hour/Asian session lows because we have equal lows down here, as you can see. But again, it's a no news Monday. Price tends to chop around a little bit before cleanly going to where we want it to go, and that's why I put my stop loss where I did. But regardless, yeah, really nothing else we could do about that. So, yeah. But again, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Still a winning trade. Still predicted the market. I think it was a good trade. Could have managed it a little bit better. But again, that's part of trading. That's how we get better each day, right? All right. Sound good? If you have any questions, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll keep getting this journey as we become someone we want to be in the future with trading. All right. Peace.